bring in lightning step, and it's all about that feel-good factor today, but it's also about a performance. Lightning are desperate for that evasive first win of their season. Can Wasps upset the two-time semi-finalists? It's time to find out. Well, it's an early carry from Musgrove, the Scotland international judo player turned rugby player, with the first touch of the ball this afternoon.
Release, Frank!
Lennon next to truck it up the inside centre. Slow from the ruck here. It's back with Edwards, a little charge down. Don't know whether it was Cabea or Hunter who got a mitt to that, but immediate pressure from Lightning.
It was really slow in that ruck, and you could almost see it from here that's probably going to be charged down at some point. They've got to get cleaner ball, so it's freer, just so they'll be able to just kick a lot quicker and not have that pressure on them.
Wasps have had the slowest ruck speed in the league all season, and you just cannot afford that with pickpocketers like Cabea and Malcolm on the park, who will be straight over any poachable ball. But the line out is clean. It's delivered downwards by Pinnock, who's been a recipient of that ball all season long. Hartbury University graduate, now mixing it with the big girls in the Premier 15s. Edwards off the side of the boot somewhat, won't have got the distance on that she was hoping for, and left Vaughan Fowler with an awful lot to do.
And it still looked quite slow, the pass to Edwards. It didn't look comfortable, looked like she had to turn it onto her hip. So then when you've got the pressure and the line speed coming, it's no surprise that they're not getting a lot of distance off their kicks, and that just builds into pressure, not being able to get out of your 22.
All afternoon, Gloucester Hartbury were putting pressure territorially on the University of Worcester Warriors yesterday, and I think we might be about to see the same approach as Wasps find themselves marched back 10 metres. Lightning with their first line out, and it's Field who picks out Malcolm. Hardy tucks the ball under one arm and has a rumble of her own. 5 metres out, but straight over the ball was Helen Coe. Wasps with a turnover, and one that they really needed. Stemming the flood early doors, and that's a much better effort from Edwards. Picks out some turf. Bulel Matai Tonga, the US Eagle, eyes alight with possibility, and makes her way through several tackles, scrambling on the grass of the Gardens. Hunter through the hands of Hardy. Here is Nelson. Space on the wing if she can just pick out Williams more, as she does. The RAF and Welsh International with a wonderful little chicken wing offload. Scarrett's there, now through Weaver. Hunter. Loughborough sniffing blood here, early doors. What a start this would be for Rhys Edwards' side. Christine Belisle. All whirling pink ponytail and driving legs. Cabea. Lovely little pass to Malcolm. 5 metres out again, Lightning, but the ball knocked on through the tackle there, and Wasps' defence holding firm.
Oh, 2 opportunities to score there, I'd say, for Loughborough, but Wasps fair play the defence. The first one from Helen Coe, that jackal was so important. That steal, I think a couple more phases they would have scored, and Loughborough here, it's a great out to in line, really good, nice, quick over the ball, and then it's just here, goes to floor, and that's what kills it just slightly. Defence managed to get up, and it just causes pressure for them.
Our first look then at the scrum this afternoon. Loughborough's front row, Leah Bartlett, Bryony Field, Christine Belisle, up against Liz Craik, Christina Blanco and Andrea Stock. And yet, that's the tale of the tape for the season so far for Lightning, and that column of L's will be troubling the women in African Violet somewhat. Rhys said in the week that they should have won against Saracens, they could have won against Harlequins, and then he was strong on this. He said they embarrassed themselves against Sale Sharks. A really poor start to the season. There definitely were points going begging there.
Yeah, the strong words, and they need to make sure that they do capitalise on opportunities. They've had 2 opportunities there, they've gone awry, and as we said, they need to get this win for them and for their confidence.
Hunter's impact immediate, just bringing down the Wasps' number 8, Fiona Cooper, after that one.
Hold one.
And yet again, Edwards on kicking duties, picking out Lauren Bolger. Scored a hat-trick on debut at the home of the Wolfpack in round 1. She has got gas to spare, and so too does Cabea, bundling through, carrying a pile of blue bodies with her. Kath O'Donnell frees her hands, picks out Jess Weaver, who will act as scrum half. Well, it's Wasps who managed to pick up the ball. Saunders, first carry from the former England age group representative in both rugby and beach volleyball. Rugby really does take all sorts. O'Donnell, voracious line speed there from the lock, returning for the first time for Loughborough. Edwards again. No one kicks more from hand in the league than Edwards, and you can see their reliance on her as an exit strategy.
Oh, they have to, because they're trying to play out of their 22, but Loughborough, for me, playing really some exciting rugby. The offloads that they're going through, Capella just brings herself a really... The intent that she brings, she just explodes through the line, and she wasn't going to go to floor, gets that offload away to O'Donnell and really gets on front foot ball.
When it clicks, it could be very pretty indeed. And speaking of clicking, the ball quickly through the hands of Scarrett and Matai Tonga, and offsets William Morris. Plays a lovely 1-2 with her fullback. Slower at the ruck here, but Jess Weaver is there. Hunter again, here is Scarrett wearing 10. Bartlett adds a meaty drive, and it's again Cabea at the heart of everything good for the home side, but Wasps' defence coming up with the penalty.
Yeah, they're really absorbing a lot of pressure, which is pretty tiring to do, but also tiring for the attacking side. Cabea does so well there. She gets herself in behind the defence, but in doing so, you need to make sure the support is there nice and fast, because otherwise it's going to get stolen. We spoke about the Jackalers in the Lightning side, but the ones in the Wasp side are there as well.
Well, it's Saunders who used to play volleyball, but it was a pat back from Nelson there that secured the ball for Lightning. They're back on their halfway line, been attacking for almost 7 minutes now, but yet to come up with the goods. Malcolm, Scotland captain, wearing the armband for her club this afternoon. Williams Morris has had so much early ball. The Welsh winger and centre will be delighted with that.
Oh, early ball, but she's too flat. She's not able to capitalise on what she's doing. She needs more time on that ball.
Hardy finding herself with time on the ball. Rumbles over the top of Musgrove. Scarrett in its scrum half, through to Nelson. So many playmakers in that Lightning midfield, and they've not even got Helena Rowland on the park today. Options on both sides. Weaver goes back the way they came. Cabea already racking up the carries.
Advantage.
Such a prodigious talent. Had an amazing game here back in May when they defeated Harlequins towards the end of last season. Pinpoint kick! Williams Morris with plenty to do, but frees her hands. Was that knocked on by Sarah Hunter?
Come back.
Wasps have come here to play, Cat Merchants.
They really have. Lovely crossfield kick there, and that's when you do want your winger flat, able to be there, hit on and go for it. But in good vision. But Wasps, yeah, look at the line speed they're coming up with. They're really putting the pressure on. Lovely weighted kick over the top, but a really nice track back across. Worth the offload, definitely. We say about 50-50s, but actually that one probably worth it, because if she can gather that, that's probably a try.
Shah McGuinness, excellent work there to get back across, and also Molly Saunders putting that pressure on Sarah Hunter. What's it like chasing after a loose ball when you can hear the defender breathing down your neck?
It's pretty scary, actually, because one, you don't want to drop the ball, you just want to make sure you get it, you also want to have a run, so yeah, it can, and especially when it's someone savage chasing you, that's even worse.
A frenetic game for Sarah Hunter's return. I know that there's a big difference between pre-season fitness and the fitness required for a match. This will be really putting that to the test, as Loughborough Lightning from 5 metres out, rumbling over the line, and they will score. They were made to wait for it, but the home side are on the scoreboard and marching their way towards that first win of the campaign.
Yeah, excellent. You know, they're known for their tries off of line-outs. Earlier, interesting decision, they went quick off the top when they actually got stopped and turned over. They didn't go for that driven line-out. Here, that close, they were only going one way, and it pulls off well for them, for Field being the one to put it down.
She scored against Exeter in round 4, Bristol Bears in round 5. That's 3 on the trot for Field, who's got a big season ahead of her because she's able to step out of Lark Davies' shadow.
Yeah, and just get to have a go completely herself, and she's just straight away in there. So lovely throw straight away, Wasps don't compete, which is quite often in the 5 metre. They want to be set, they want to be ready, they want to hit it, but there's only 2 players there defensively really from Wasps, and there's 6, 7 of Loughborough in there, so it's no surprise they went over.
And you could see the figure at the heart of that rolling wall, and who was actually just to the right of our picture there was Kath O'Donnell, a totemic figure and a relentless workhorse. How much does she bring upon her return?
Yeah, well, she's also a unit. You need those in the second row. You need those engine players which are just going to go forward, strong players, and she's absolutely one of those, and she is a workhorse, strong, skillful as well, but just strength definitely in need when you're looking at your line-out play.
10 points played. Loughborough 5 to the goods, looking to start clawing their way up the Premier 15s table. They're languishing towards the bottom at the moment, which with a team like theirs just does not make sense. Musgrove, lots of time to assess her options. To dance back in field. She's well wrapped up. Quicker ball there from Roberts. Wasps looking to strike back immediately. What a counter up from Loughborough Lightning. Saunders finds herself playing scrum half. And Pinnock, with a welcome committee of Sarah Hunter and Kath O'Donnell. That's no fun for anyone.
Leave it 3. 13.
And Wasps
clear out.
with another point on the right side of the penalty tally.
13's
It's been one-way traffic discipline-wise.
Yeah, discipline. Wasps, I think, are really honing in defensively, and they've covered really well. But that was the first time we got to see them play some phases and build it up, and probably the first time Loughborough have been under pressure.
Edge of the white then, please.
Caught up with LJ Lewis pitch side before the game and asked her what success looked like today, because it's very different in every match, especially in a league which is increasingly polarised this year. And she said the first thing they're looking for is a point on the board. They've been bageled twice this season. What it would mean to them to get better red zone efficiency today, or rather the Wasps call it the gold zone, which I love. So better gold zone efficiency. Let's see if they can make it in now. Edwards in the midfield. Here's Vaughan Fowler. She's plied her trade for Saracens over the years, won herself a Premier 15s medal, that's in her sock drawer. Plenty of England 7s caps too. Here's Saunders. And now Lennon, another player who's pulled on the black jersey of Saracens in her time. McGuinness at the bottom of that one. Roberts whips it out.
Tackle release now, Pink.
Carry from Blanco. Spanish international, used to packing down with Laura Delgado, who was in fine fettle yesterday at Six Ways, running over the top of Warriors for fun. That might have looked forwards to me, but it doesn't matter. Referee didn't see it, and that is the fend of this season. Shut the book. We've had the prop carry of the year. That was remarkable. Wasps now with some real wind in their sails. I want to see that again and again. That was amazing. Loughborough do brilliantly to turn it over. There's a knock on in there too. Ball just sets off in hot pursuit. Combined with O'Donnell really well to bring down a rampaging Edwards. Wasps still have the ball. It's Co with it. Right on the far side there, and coast to coast go Wasps. Hands freed really nicely there through the tackle.
Hold that, Pink.
Back down the blind side they go. Roberts. Picking out Cooper. A new signing for Wasps this season. Oh, and the ball is up and it's clear. And offset Wasps. It's Liz Craig. Space on the wing. If she can just free her hands, and Wasps, well, they came here looking for points. That was a perler.
What a try that was as well. They had the line break before it, the handoff, but even that is the offloading, the support play. They're line breaking through, and you can see as they line break, they're all scanning. They're looking around to check their support. I actually felt that should have been a try on the outside initially, but did really well to step in and make sure she scored it. But yeah, what a great play.
There's only one place to start. Just sit back and enjoy in full flight this little bit of
scrum half. See ya. No way are you tackling me. And then even then, it's the leg drive after it. She doesn't even get tackled. Slight hint of a forward pass that we picked up, but it wasn't. So scanning across, big handoff, doesn't even break her stride, carries on running through, won't get tackled. Now the support play to her as well was really important. Great offload here. Okay, running, scanning, ball in two hands, pumps a dummy to the left, which fools Skaz, and then the pass. Great work. What amazing work from Liz Craig.
That had absolutely everything. Started by a prop playing like a wing, finished by a wing playing like a wing, but everything in between. Wow.
It's that dummy and pump. Like, you just don't expect your prop to do that, and then to not just carry, to make sure it gets to the wing. He steps on the inside, really good steps. You could see there was an overchase because Scarrett was back there on her own trying to defend about 3 people, to be fair, but overchase initially, goes at that pump. Lovely, lovely try.
The audacity to turn Emily Scarrett inside out like that.
Well, from that angle as well, because from up here I thought actually she probably had the outside, but rightly so, she didn't. So a really good step on the inside.
We're all square at the Gardens, and with an early contender for try of the week. Scarrett looking to put things right, and so she does. Frees an arm, loops the offload, picks out Hardy. 5 apiece, 15 minutes played through the hands of Fields. Scarrett looking for options, hoping to keep the ball alive. Hits the turf, places it backwards. Wassel, Hardy finds Matai Tonga. It is a Harlem Globetrotters game from Loughborough today. Every single opportunity to offload, and they are taking it.
Well, they now look a bit desperate. I think they're looking like they've just been scored against. They know that they can score, but the way that they're offloading is actually just a little bit loose, like that last one there, going out into touch. Just maybe need to, we spoke about it before the game, need to click how to work with each other, communicate in so they know where everybody is.
It's wonderful conditions here at Franklin's Gardens, still as a breeze, nice and dry. The track looks quick, very tempting to play like that. Blanco finds her mark, but it's just fumbled by Coe, goes backwards. Ian Key reckons. Back to Craig. We'll talk about her some more in a bit. Roberts finds Blanco. The work rate from the hooker to be off that line out and round to receive the ball in that second phase of play. Edwards, Matai Tonga chasing hard, but it trickles into touch.
That was a lovely nudge there, very tactical as well. So instead of the clearance kicks, which she's had to do a lot this season, actually that was a more tactical attacking play, really putting, after them having the last score, now making Loughborough play out between their 10 and their 22. Lovely execution there from Edwards.
And Wasps turning the screw and applying a little bit of pressure of their own. Fields plays it short, it's disrupted. It's popped up and it's come up with a player in blue.
It's lost forward in the line out.
But just about knocked on. Loughborough will have the put in. Wasps are really attacking this one.
Well, they're showing as well that they don't care who's on that Loughborough team sheet. They don't care that there's 11 internationals in the starting lineup. They are just playing, and the way that they're running when they've got the ball as well, there's true belief that they're breaking through tackles. They're not going to get hit and go down. They are looking to break the line, as with that amazing handoff from Craig. But all of it, the leg drive going through, you could just see that they're really, really up for it.
Sticking the bell.
Well, let's talk about Liz Craig, because we promised one another before the match that we would, because it's been really tough at Wasps. There's been an exodus of players. When Giselle Mather stepped down, LJ Lewis was handed the keys to a side that have been in the semi-finals 3 times in this league. So much pedigree, so much history. Champions, of course, before it was the Premier 15s. And then the club went into administration. The players left. They were hemorrhaging internationals. And yet, they have come out week after week, performances on the park. And Liz Craig has played every minute of that.
Yeah, she's a true leader on the pitch, and you can see with how she plays, the fact that she can play front row, back row is incredible in its own. But you can see people get a boost when she carries, and there's certain players on the pitch that have that. She is one of them. She carries. Look how quick her support players get to her, because they know she's going to line break or she's going to do something magical. So it's great to see, and she's an incredible athlete.
Top of the tree for Wasps for tackle breaks, line breaks, meters made and turnovers. And all from playing mostly at prop. Oh, Emma Hardy did very well to wriggle through there, and now it's Cabella. Hunter's in support. Don't know how she managed to get her fingertips to that one. Fantastically deft handling from the England captain. It looks for all the world as though Loughborough were away and clear there, but they've done well to keep possession. Now they come again. Weaver to Scarrett. Matai Tonga, Williams-Morris awaits, but the fullback looks to go it all alone, finds the winger to her left, and it's going to be a run for home for the Welsh international. Loughborough strike back, Williams-Morris over, and they are back ahead at Franklin's Gardens.
Lovely finish, but I definitely think Sadia Cabella owes Sarah Hunter a pint for that one, or a coffee after the game. But yeah, that to claw that back was fantastic, because I thought they'd blown it again. But really nice ball from Emily Scarrett out wide. Lovely step back inside, and then great link play between fullback and wing means Caris can just finish running what she does well, really fast, take the outside, really nicely timed pass as well.
It's really good to see Bulo Matai Tonga back wearing a Loughborough shirt. Her start to the season was delayed with visa issues, but she is back. She was brilliant against Bristol, won Loughborough's internal player of the match award, and Reece Edwards just can't speak highly enough of her.
Well, what she did there, which was really clever, was the step back inside before she gives the pass, so it just stops the defence from being able to drift. It keeps them honest, so just a really small thing, but makes a massive, massive difference to a winger.
Well, 2 points go begging for Helen Nelson. She's 0 from 2 off the tee so far this afternoon. But Lightning ahead and in front of a fairly busy Franklin's Gardens.
Yeah, that's that step I was talking about. Just a really nice get inside, and then a nice pass flat to the winger, which you want hitting onto it at pace. So just easy finish in the corner for her there.
Okay. Let's get it 10.
Moment to get our breath back. It has been end-to-end stuff. And if the passing continues, Wasps will be looking to strike back right away. Belisle off the restart. Part of an all-Scottish prop pairing for Loughborough Lightning today. We've got Emma Wassell and Rachel Malcolm in that pack as well. It is a fistily set of forwards. And there's one of them, Bartlett. Adds a couple of hard-earned yards. Nelson at first receiver this time, and the try scorer Williams-Morris once more frees her hands, finds Matai Tonga. One for me, one for you. Linking up so nicely this afternoon. Weaver, Cabella in at first receiver this time. There really are playmakers all over the park, but the desire to play for Lightning is just coming back to hurt them a little bit.
No advantage coming.
Wasps find themselves with a put in at the scrum and possession for absolutely nothing.
I think a lot of people before this game probably underestimated Wasps. I'd say I might have been in that category myself, looking at the team sheet, getting excited by Loughborough, but they have really stood up today, absolutely, in terms of their defensive effort, but also the attack. Both sides are really nicely, not just flinging it wide, they're doing it with purpose. They're making sure that the defence is all fixed, they're checked, and then they're looking to go. Both teams looking to keep it alive with offloads. Really excited, even game.
Do you think some of that Wasps cohesion is because their squad is so much smaller this year? A lot of them are playing 80 minutes week in, week out.
Yeah, that'll have a huge impact, but also the mental toughness as well of what they've been through to actually go, do you know what, we've gone through a lot, we want to go out there and play.
And if you're playing for Wasps this season, you're not doing it for money, you're doing it because you love it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Roberts picks out stock. We've not said her name yet, but she is one to keep your eyes on. Represented Munster and has got her eyes on a green Irish jersey. Really exciting young tight head. Pinnock does absolutely brilliantly, freeing her hands, picking out Musgrove. The look forward, making 15 metres there in the space of just moments. Oh, it's slow and ponderous at the rock. Inside ball, Pinnock again. Wasps playing with real guile and ambition here. As you said, Kat, they don't care how many internationals are facing them. They've tasted the whitewash this afternoon and how they would like another bite at the cherry.
There it comes.
Roberts really forced to rummage for it and pops a looping one out the top. Musgrove Here is Saunders. She's got McGuinness to the outside, but doesn't use her. Opts to carry herself. 5 Loughborough defenders around her, but she finds her way into the 22. Wasps' tails are up now. They go again. Here is Craik. Of course it is. Liz Craik, relentlessly brilliant in that shirt this afternoon and all season. It's another carry for Blanco. 10 metres out now, Wasps. Looking to go again to do the unthinkable, not content with just one try in this first half. And right before the posts, Roberts whips it out to Pinnock.
Release, Pink!
Loughborough just cranking up the line speed here. It is getting quicker. The pressure is on. But Wasps are carrying with their hearts on their sleeves, sensing an opportunity here.
11. Yeah, use the play on the ground to support your weight.
But for the first time this afternoon, it's Loughborough quickest over the breakdown, and they find themselves with the ball.
11,
An important turnover there, because you felt Wasps really building into that game from the break from Craik to then they just very clever at looking after it. They were doing their forwards play, they were getting settled before then looking to push it to the edge. So really good, smart attack, but got to get those numbers in. You can see Loughborough throwing numbers into breakdowns. I actually thought maybe they threw a few too many on this near side and they might end up short out wide, but it's a tactic that's worked for them because they've won the ball back.
Do you think in and amongst those leadership groups now, Kat, Loughborough are saying to themselves, we actually can't afford to give Wasps as much ball as we perhaps planned, because they're looking efficient with it?
Yeah, definitely, and it will, you know, they said they took Sale too lightly. Have they took Wasps too lightly? Potentially.
Here is someone who takes nothing lightly, Sadir Kabea, with another rib rearranging carry down the midfield. Nelson pops it over the top. It's just knocked on by Edwards. What a shame, she's been having such a rock solid performance at the back.
Yeah, that was a really nice nudge, a good kick across, but one that you'd back Edwards to take that every day of the week. So maybe just lost there. It felt slightly short maybe, but she'll be very disappointed because, yeah, she's a really good skillful player.
Such a stalwart of the Wasp side. She joined back in 2009 and is just 9 points away from 200 in a Wasps jersey. So we'll be keeping an eye on that one over the course of the afternoon.
I'll tell you what, Wasps aren't playing like a team that just want to get a point, are they? They don't want to play, you know, they're not playing like they want to be nilled. They've really come out, they are playing for a win.
Maybe I misunderstood LJ Lewis. Maybe they're coming for a table point or 5.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah.
I know it's not your area of expertise, Kat, but
how dare you? Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, go for it.
Hate to suggest there is such a thing in the universe, but what have you made of the scrum so far?
Well, they've actually been pretty even. Neither team has had a massive amount of dominance within it. Balls come out cleanly, so I think they'll be both pretty happy with it. You watch, they'll get railroaded back now. So how much of my expertise is there?
We've got Helena Rowland sat to our left in the commentary box today. She will be joining us at half-time, and I debated throwing her under the bus and asking her about the scrum, but I would not be so cruel.
I might at half-time. Helen, scrums, go. Yeah.
It's Weaver with the put-in. Sister Lucy waits on the bench. And now Loughborough start to shovel some coal onto the fire. This is better from the hosts. On they march. A purple wave. Now just edging onto the 22, and Matai Tonga has looked so dangerous all afternoon. Bolger, just her second touch, but it does the job. They're into the 22 now. Williams Morris awaits on the wing, pops it back one-handed because Musgrove did well to get back across. And it's another defensive thumbs up to Wasps.
I'm baffled by that decision as well. That scrum was spot on. It was going backwards. Ref put his arm out. Loughborough had the advantage for the penalty. So I know they've kind of played it wide, but actually could have kept going with it, I felt, and maybe a slightly tighter punch, because that scrum was just, you can see how well that's working. It's going back. You know, Wasps not doing much wrong there. It's just that, you know, Loughborough are stronger in better positions, driving them up.
And the magic dancing feet of Sarah Hunter at the base of it all.
Yeah, I would have liked to see her take a carry on that one probably, and I know on advantage that you do want to launch it wide sometimes, but I do think a scrum going that way round, the pick is great.
Well, you might have seen the hand of Ian Key going up in the direction of Wasps there. Spotted that Rachel Malcolm, Loughborough Lightning's captain, found herself in the front row at one point during that scrum, so penalty reversed.
My ref mic was down there, so I didn't hear that for some reason, so I actually didn't hear him feed that in. But yeah, so maybe that's why the scrum looks so great for Loughborough. They're four in the front row, pushing through.
That would explain it, but it's very well worked in the air there by Rachel Malcolm, made up for it immediately. And although it was knocked on, Wasps not with the clean ball they'll have hoped for.
10-5, nearly 30 minutes into the game as well, really close to call. Both teams look really dangerous when they have the ball. Loughborough have just had the ball in better areas, I would say, at the minute, with how I'd sum it up.
Well, they've made 100 metres more than their opponents so far, which is reflected on the scoreboard. Territory tells a very different story to the scoreline. Wasps have been averaging 0.3 points per 22 entry so far this season, but they're doing a lot better than that this afternoon.
Set!
Well, that's two in a row from Loughborough where they've had the edge in that arm wrestle. Wasp set piece concertinaed in the face of that scrum.
You can tell they were annoyed by the penalty against them on the last one, and I think they wanted to put that right. There's a wealth of experience in there, loads of internationals. They wanted to make sure they're driving straight. No was popping up. Oh, and yeah, the Wasps ones that time has just crumbled. The hips get higher than the shoulders, then you've got no chance because you just start getting driven back.
Sydney Mead just getting a little bit of attention from one of the medics before Emily Scarrett can hoof that one up the field. Mead used to playing as a centre or a winger, but given availability for Wasps this season, she's found herself playing at flanker. So a really evasive carrier.
Back in the day, and it is a long time ago now, it was me and Nikki Crawford were the wingers for Worcester, and we both ended up through injuries in the as back row. So two wingers on the back row. It was a quick game.
Yeah. I'll never forget Johnny Maeve hacking down for Leicester in that match about 5 or 6 years ago. It was so funny.
Yeah, he didn't do well for wingers names, I think. Although I did in the Super Fours trial, the Super League. I was back row in a scrum and I hit, and afterwards I was speaking. I said, "Oh, was my involvement all right?" And they were like, "I didn't know you were there." I was like, "Great."
Subtle, nuanced cat, not ineffective. Let's look at it that way. This, though, is effective. Loughborough Lightning, a pack on a mission with one destination and one destination only. Try time. Loughborough have their third.
Doing what they do best. There was all the calmness there with the injury, the decision to go for the corner. They knew exactly what they needed to do. They had to repeat what they did last time, but that one even more efficient, I would say, and effective, because that one was flying. That was really going fast.
And it's Bryony Field who comes up with the ball.
So it was competed against, but they did really well. Nice aerial skills, get up, get that nice long throw. And then because they've gone up, Wasps are having to scramble back to get across, but you can just see it's like a running scrum. They're so organised and low. You look at that body height across and there's no way the field is not getting over that line.
Absolutely not.
You can see the Wasp players just splintering around, actually just looking at it. There's nothing we can do here. They didn't even try and get round behind it.
Much better from Helen Nelson. She nabs the conversion, makes it a 7-pointer. And Loughborough lead by 12 with 10 minutes remaining of the half.
Yeah, it's a beautiful throw on the line out. Just really fired well. You go too loopy on that one, Wasps might be able to get up and read it and go for a steal. So really good play. They're just so good at it. They're up there. Their stats are top, are they, or second? So they're really up there anyway.
It is a rich vein for them, something they know to tap into. And it is testament to the battle that Wasps have put up today that Lightning have had to revert to that one. Ball up the jumper and subsequently over the line. Helen Nelson on a lovely arcing run, scanning left, scanning right, picking out Bolter on the wing. Could Lightning, bit of bounces, score another one right hot on the heels of that one. Weaver finds Belial, pirouettes, juggles, just about keeps hold of it. Weaver again. Hardy really whipping these passes. Loughborough, Matai Tonga, as she has done all afternoon. Ambitious, ball in two hands. Manages to get it away to Williams Morris, who will have her second. The floodgates have opened, and the wave is a purple one. Loughborough with a bonus point score.
And this is where they are so dangerous. We said across the board from the team sheet, they have got stars in the forwards, in the backs, and they've just shown that by doing a completely dominant scrum, going in straight into a completely dominant line out to then just tear Wasps apart out wide. They had plenty of numbers, so the ball just goes out. Really nice carry here. This is where it started here for Nelson. Look, this pace that she goes round reminds me of a certain Helena. So going across, and then nice pass out wide. Really good cover tackle as well. But just great play from them to just run it out. And then really nice ball here from Scarrett. And here's a step again. I was talking about step back in, check, good offload, and then lovely hands from Sunter to get away. And there's still work to do from Williams. You know, she's technically covered, but she manages to get across. Good step out to the outside to score.
Well, it seems that in the last 5 minutes, Helen Nelson has had a rummage in her kit bag and picked out her kicking boots. The last two have been sweetly struck, and the gap widens further. How concerned a team talk will that have been beneath the posts for Wasps, because the momentum has shifted.
It has shifted, and they've been putting a lot of energy into it, but it does get pretty draining when you're having to defend so hard to stop it. But yeah, when you've got a centre like that in Nelson, who can, that pace to get round the outside is so dangerous. When you've got a 12 that quick, you could just do damage from everywhere, and what it keeps defences honest, because they cannot drift off.
A bouncing ball for Bartlett, who in turn bounces off a few defenders. Weaver. Here's a carry from Wassell.
Stay there, 8.
Such an omnipresent player. The work she gets through in any game of rugby is formidable. And that is a very well-weighted nudge. The pressure not coming off Wasps for a moment now.
Yeah, that was a lovely kick, but also a very cruel bounce for Wasps. And Musgrave was right underneath it, so I thought it was going to bounce up for her, and it just kept rolling, so she couldn't get hold of that one. Now they're back where they've been for a large proportion of this game in their 22, trying to play it out.
Just Peyton, don't step off. Thank you.
There's been a real symmetry to this half of rugby. We were looking to the left for the whole first 10 minutes, as it was all Loughborough. Then we found ourselves in the midfield, a couple of amazing moments from Wasps, and now, at this key point before the halfway mark, it's all purple. Hunter has a jostle there up in the air, but it's still with Wasps, despite the best efforts of Sadia Kabea. Roberts back into the pocket. Edwards charged down by Wassell. Williams Morris sniffing for a third, but she's got her work cut out and finds herself immediately on the defence. Quick thinking and quicker feet from McGuinness there.
Yeah, Wasps are playing really well out of their 22, aren't they? The pressure they then put on, the line speed across, but both sides throwing everything at it.
Mark's here then. Let's go. Let's go then, Blue.
Scoreline 24 points to 5. As things stand, Loughborough Lightning will get their season back on track with a bonus point victory. But the heart that LJ Lewis's side have brought all the way up to Northampton makes you suggest it will not be quite that straightforward.
Yeah, they've really put a massive shift in this first half hour particularly, and then just the last couple of minutes, Loughborough have really found their groove and managed to put them away.
And an area at the heart of that swing of the momentum pendulum is the scrum, and on it goes again. The vice tightening on Wasps.
One going in.
Weaver wrapped up. Helen Coe very quick to react there, the open side.
Yeah, still
bundling the scrum half backwards, but Scarrett spots an opportunity with a beautiful kick right onto the foot of Lauren Bolger, who volleys it and sets off in hot pursuit. Makes the tackle. It's a big territory gain for the hosts. Roberts just assessing her options. Edwards not in position for the clearance kick, so will she put it up? Yes, she will. A box kick from Roberts, former Harlequin, former Richmond player, now wearing the blue of Wasps. And Williams-Morris not done for the half. Pinnock plucks it from the skies and it's placed backwards. Wasps come up with the penalty and they opt to go quickly.
Penalty advantage 5, no attempt to retreat.
Wood with a little show and go, tiptoes into contacts. And Wasps to the second penalty.
But for the second time on the scrum penalty for Loughborough, they ended up kicking it away crossfield kick because they make contact with it. Vantage is over. But actually, you'd almost be worth taking the penalty kick for touch, because the last 2 times they've done that, they've got scores from a driven line out. So actually, the advantage in going wide isn't as much, I don't think. It's just their set piece, going for line out, going with what they know.
Let's go then,
that woman there at the heart of so much of Wasps' territory game this afternoon, between her boot and the fist of Liz Craik. They've made real inroads here at Franklin's Gardens. Blanco. Batted from the skies by Sarah Hunter. 140 England caps. How many more might we yet see from the great?
Don't start shouting.
One of the greatest to ever pull on that Red Roses jersey. Weaver. To Hunter. Does a full 360 before releasing that one, and here goes Helen Nelson-Hardy. Whips it out to Matai Tonga, who pops up on the right wing and just puts her foot on the pedal, pins her ears back, frees her hands. Hardy to Weaver. Oh, it's gonna be a beauty! Jess Weaver beneath the post for Loughborough Lightning's 5th, and it's an absolute delight of a score. They have been slow out of the blocks this season, but they're putting that behind them today and sparkling in their home ground.
Just say that again, how long?
Jess Weaver looking absolutely delighted with herself, as she well should. And Helen Nelson is just growing into this game by the moment. As for Bulo Matai Tonga, I would love to know how many metres the fullback has already made this afternoon. Quick hands, quick thinking, absolutely lovely interplay here. A well-worked score and a thoroughly deserved 5 points, which Helen Nelson is now looking to make 7. No issues there, straightforward for the Scottish fly half, playing it inside centre today, and the scoreboard ticks up yet again. Loughborough Lightning with 40 minutes played, leading 31 points to 5 here at the Gardens, a place they hope to make a fortress. Well, the walls are high and the moat is deep. Wasps have got an awful lot left to do now. Such a bright opening 40 for the visitors, but the credentials, the pedigree of Rhys Edwards' side is really starting to show now. And Liz Craik at the heart of a remarkable score, with plenty to talk to her side about over the next 10 minutes, which we will spend in the company of Ashley Wilmot and Kat Merchant, who are down pitch side with, as mentioned, our very special guest. But let's take a peek at how the opening 40 played out here. I think there's been a little bit of furniture rearranging in our studio, but they're there, they are ready. I can see Ashley Wilmot and the wonderful raspberry pink coat of Kat Merchant.
Thanks, Claire. Well, what a first 40. I mean, Loughborough Lightning definitely finding momentum in the latter stages. What did you make of it? Initial thoughts?
Oh, just fantastic. I thought that both teams really brought a load of energy and, you know, nervous energy that were turning into tries. I felt that Wasps has thrown everything at it, and fair play to them for stepping up. But Loughborough, towards the end there, that half, just showing their class. They really are scoring some fantastic tries.
Especially that last one from Weaver.
Yeah.
Right down at the right-hand side. It was amazing to watch here. And the crowd, I mean, went electric, as you would expect. But Wasps, did we write them off at the beginning? Hopefully not, because they really have come out with a lot of heart this afternoon.
Yeah, and I was saying during that game, I think that people did probably write them off. And, you know, I said I was coming to this game, and you hear people's thoughts of it as they're coming up, and they're, oh, well, be a big score. But actually they're not playing like that at all, and you know, there's probably another opportunity where they could have scored another one, but they're not playing defensively, they are playing with heart and attacking as well, which is great flair to see.
And it's becoming a little bit more of a territory game now for Loughborough Lightning.
Yeah, hugely, and they're managing to, you know, 2 of their tries have been scored through the line out, being able to kick in behind, and also making it really hard for Wasps to play out. The territory showed that the Wasps have played, I think, 84% or something in their half, which is pretty tough.
I mean, speaking of tries, should we take a look at some of them?
Definitely.
I mean, Wasps did manage to keep Loughborough Lightning away from the try line for the first 9 minutes or so, and then Bryony Field got this first one. A team effort though.
Yeah, massively team effort, being able to get themselves in that area, put the kick into the corner, and then pretty much unopposed run over the line. For Bills, she'll be pretty happy with her team for that one. But just, I mean, you've still got to win the line out. There's pressure when you're 5 metres out. You've got to get it right, got to get it straight, and they did. But really nice team play.
Nice to set the tone as well for the rest of the game. Or the rest of the first half, I should say. Bryony Field as well, in that number 2 position. Lark Davis, of course, moving to Bristol Bears. So big shoes to fill, but really finding her feet.
Oh, hugely, yeah, because Lark Davis is one of those amazing players. And just as we go through talking about Lark, but here we go, this run here from Liz Craig. She is playing prop, let's just remember, and that handoff there, I'm a big fan of handoffs, but that one was incredible. But not just that, it's the second one as well, and the leg drive, and here we go. So we see the dummy, which is outrageous. So dummy Emily Scarrett, tracking across, lovely pass as well to finish, and then a nice out to in order to finish it off. But a great try from Wasps, a well-deserved try as well.
And look at the elation on their faces. I mean, it means a lot to them. That was Tilly Vaughan Fowler. But Liz Craig, I mean, she's the captain and she's showing them how it's done, really, isn't she?
Yeah, it's that. She's playing with no fear, and that's what they have to do to get in, and they're believing they're getting the line breaks, and they're getting them. So a really nice play from them. Great offload, isn't it? Just a lovely offload, and the scanning as well. They obviously like this one because we're seeing it from lots of different angles. We're being treated. So yeah, there's that footwork again.
What have we got in store next? Well, 22 minutes in. Some great link-up play from the backs, and Karis Williams-Morris was over the try line. Now, I did actually think she might get the first try of the game, because she did have the ball in her hands quite a lot.
She did. I slated her at first, saying she was too flat, and I did think she was, but actually here works out really well for her being flat, get that pass across, leg drive, and then the turn of pace to go from it. But Scarrett, really nice pass across first, and then that step back inside that allows the space outside for Williams-Morris to finish.
Great pace down that left-hand side. Just taking it all in her stride, really, wasn't she? Great for her to get her first one, and then of course the Loughborough Lightning pack powered down, and Bryony Field got her brace.
Yeah, so penalty from the scrum, which you can see was just absolutely, they were annihilated in that scrum, Wasps were, and then put it to the corner. And look at the speed of this. I said to Claire up in comms, this looked like a scrum when it got going. The speed, like a running scrum that just kept going. The positions they've managed to get themselves in. Nice low body positions, leg drive going, and there's no way it's stopping here.
No way of stopping them at all, really. Helen Nelson found a kicking boot, she converted that try, and then there was really just no stopping them. The floodgates opened, and then there was a huge momentum shift, and Karis Williams-Morris got her second of the day.
Yeah, and it comes from this, from playing from your 22 to run it out. Nelson just showing her absolute gas here. Lovely pass out wide as well, really, really nice. Great cover tackle though, gotta love a tap tackle. But it's hard when you're in those positions because you're isolated, but they managed to keep it as well. They've gone from one side of the pitch to the other with just a couple of passes. Sarah Hunter getting her hands on the ball and a nicely weighted pass, and there's still work here to be done, definitely by Williams-Morris. So she's done really well.
Some big hits there from Wasps, but it just really wasn't enough to stop them, was it?
They're just stretched too far. Going from one side of the pitch to the other side is really tough and tiring defensively because you have your back three back. So, yeah, they're just stretched, they're tired, and Loughborough were being very clinical.
There she goes again with that massive pace. Amazing stuff. And then just before the half-time whistle, well, Jess Weaver ran in a beautiful try.
Oh, she did. I was walking down the steps to try and get here in time, and I just got drawn into it. I was like, I don't care if I'm late. I'm gonna have to watch this one because it was yeah, incredible.
Look at that determination.
Just the offloading, the whole thing, just really good link play, and nice for Weaver to be the one to finish it off as well. So just simple catch and pass rugby, and then that gas to burn, step inside, just really natural runner as well, and lovely offloads. That one was the most important one though, that back inside one, because she's getting double tackled, two defenders out the way, back inside to Weaver, lovely finish.
Just what we like to see on a Sunday afternoon. I mean, a great effort from both teams, but Loughborough Lightning in particular, finding their feet, finding momentum, and kind of what we had anticipated.
Yeah, that's how I thought they'd start, and I guess they did, but there was a couple of tries gone begging, and Wasps' energy was just relentless in defence. But yeah, they found their feet now, and it's how. But Wasps now have a half time to re-energise, come back at it, and I wouldn't rule them out yet. They're gonna come out fighting.
Wasps captain Liz Craig, we did just see that huge handoff. I mean, it was amazing. Probably my highlight of the first half. I just did not see that coming at all. She's a fantastic player, really leading by example. What do you make of her as a player?
Oh, she's just been fantastic. I think, you know, her tackle stats are always amazing, like every game across the board, but she's just a line breaker. She's got belief, aside from the handoff, which is obviously amazing, and that's going to be the moment that's replayed a lot. But apart from that, just look at the carries she's made, the offloads. She's just an all-round player.
She really is.
Yeah, we could just keep praising her because she's awesome. Yeah.
She is awesome, and we actually went down to have a chat with her. Let's hear from her here.
You don't realise what has to go on behind the scenes for the pitch to be perfect. The question comes up quite a lot whether I'd rather run out with Twickenham or cut it. If I had to choose something, obviously that wouldn't be an easy decision to make. So I grew up in Gibraltar and I was born there. Rugby back there is not very big. The local side was like 20 minutes away across the border into Spain. I turned 16 and then it became an option whether I stopped playing rugby because travelling to the local women's side was about 2 hours away, or I looked to come over to the UK. Susie came down to Exeter and she got in contact with me and asked if I wanted to come down here and experience something new and have a new challenge. COVID hit and then it became a realisation like I need to actually think, what do I want to do with my life in the bigger picture? Do I actually want to spend 3 years studying at uni when I probably wasn't the most academic person? I took the gamble and come down to Exeter with Susie. Ended up having a lot of free time on my hands because I'd be training 3 times a week and then you'd have like the rest of the week just twiddling your thumbs at home, I suppose. And then we were sat in the stand and the grounds team at the time were doing stuff on the pitch. And I said to one of the girls, like, that's what I want to do. And then because I said it, I had to do it, and I've enjoyed it since. We're going to prep the pitch to spray some products down, so we tend to measure it out in 4-metre blocks. We tend to normally use a different tape measure, but that broke this morning. Someone went over it with a mower. And we'll get the boom sprayer out and just walk up and down. It tends to be products that's going to help the pitch grow so that it's looking nicer for the weekend. What caught my eye for the job was how different it is to like your regular office job. I'm outside pretty much all the time. When the sun's shining, you're living your best life. We're marking out the pitch, so we're using a laser make sure the lines are dead straight. So on the laser you've got like 2 guidelines that you'd match up to your white line. And once they're matched up, hopefully the reflector should also be matched up. So you switch your laser on, and then you're trying to find the reflector with the laser so that that is straight as well. Yeah, the paint's not coming out. It's quite bittersweet, really, playing at like your own pitch that you like prep in that sense. Obviously, the sweet bit is you're getting to run around Sandy Park. But then the bitter bit is that you've prepped it all, you've done all this hard work for one scrum to happen, and it ruins it in that sense, and you're just a bit like, right. And then you go in on like the next day and you have to try and sort that out, even though you know you did that.
Now, I'm pleased to say we've been joined by Loughborough Lightning fly half and England international Helena Rowland. Great to have you with us. How are you? Wrapped up?
Yes, yeah. Ready for the cold weather. It's great to be here.
And I mean, you are quite strapped up there. How are you getting on?
Yeah, all right. It's slow progress, but going in the right direction. About 6 weeks post-op now, so yeah, starting to be able to do a little bit more, which is nice, and yeah, we'll see see what happens.
Well, it's great to have you here with us and keeping us company. What have you made of the game so far?
Yeah, obviously, Wasps really came to play in that first kind of 20-minute period. I think weren't afraid to throw the ball around, which was really positive to see, and Loughborough really had to weather that, and I think it maybe caught them by surprise a little bit, but as you saw towards the end of the half, they came out the other side, throwing the ball around, scoring some nice tries, and yeah, you got to see the Loughborough that we all hope to see.
Yeah, could this be the turning point for Loughborough? Obviously, you still haven't got a win at all this season, but it's looking like it's going to go that way for you today.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely going in the right direction for this game. I think they've been building steadily over the 5 games previous. I know they've all been losses, but have been gaining that continuity, and putting out some decent tries there today, and hopefully it'll continue in the second half and we can get that first win.
And moving on to the second half, what do you think we can expect from them? Are they going to go for more driven line-outs? They're going to try and get it even wider? What do you think we're going to see?
I think a bit of both. You only have to look at the last few seasons in terms of try stats with Lark Davis at the back of them all. That's always been a strength, and Loughborough loves to play it wide to wide, so I'm sure we'll see a little bit more of that as well.
You're actually quite familiar with the Wasps squad as well, because you played alongside a few of them.
Yeah, played alongside Ellie Lennon and Georgia Wood growing up, so yeah, know a little bit about them. It's great to see them get a shot, albeit in some tough circumstances for Wasps, but yeah, good to see them out there.
It is tough circumstances for Wasps, but LJ said at the beginning, it's about personal development, it's about coming out here and getting that experience, especially somewhere like as prestigious as Franklin's Gardens, and they're doing themselves proud.
Oh, definitely. You can see how much it meant to them with that try scored, and they definitely weren't just playing to get a try. They are playing for the win. Now Loughborough at the minute outclassing them towards the second part. However, they have not given up. They've not given an inch, and they've really impressed.
And I mean, I'm waiting as well, Kat, for you to ask Helena about the scrums.
Oh, yeah.
I did hear that in commentary, and you were going to quiz Helena, and I was waiting for that. But what have we made about the set piece? I mean, Loughborough Lightning, at one point there was 4 players in the front row.
Well, I couldn't remember when Claire asked me, the scrums, I was like, I can't actually remember seeing any. And then when they did come in, and Loughborough just had really sorted it, got them flying back. But obviously, referee had deemed that their 4 players had managed to get themselves into the front.
Well, we'll have to wait and see how the next half goes. Great to get your thoughts, Kat. Great to have you on board, Helena. And back to you, Claire.
Thank you very much, Ashley, Kat and Helena. Perfect timing there. We are back underway at Franklin's Gardens. Wherever you are joining us from, you are very welcome here at Premier15s.com. This round 6 clash between 2 sides in desperate need of a win. State of play, 31 points to 5. Basically, to get you up to speed, Liz Craik is unstoppable. Loughborough Lightning are offloading as though they have an offload bonus in their contracts. And there's a bonus point in the bag for Reese Edwards women, who are looking to make this place a fortress. Hardy with the ball in the middle of the park. I thought there was a Loughborough Lightning player arriving in the commentary booth, but it's just Kat Merchant in her pink coat. She's back. She'll be back on the microphone imminently. And Liz Musgrove is back on litter picking duty on the turf. Scoops up that bouncing ball and hurtles infield. Very well wrapped up by Helen Nelson, who was instrumental in so much of what was good from Loughborough Lightning. And here they are on the attack again. 2 knock-ons in quick succession. Someone's replaced the ball with a bar of soap at half-time. We will come back for Kat Merchant's favourite, the scrum.
Yay, just in time. It's not often I have to actually sprint from camera up to here, but it was enjoyable.
Speaking of enjoyable, we didn't get a chance to talk about it at half-time, but the Six Nations is right around the corner, which has reminded me to remind all of you watching on that tickets are available right now for all 3 of the Red Roses home games. They will be touring the country, Newcastle, Northampton right here, and London. Why not get yourself tickets for all 3, or at the very least for one of them? You want to head to englandrugby.com/tickets. They seem to make history every time they play these women. So, Kat, you'd be mad not to be there, wouldn't you?
Definitely all 3. Go for it. You just got to see it. The value. One, just for money, but also just the every single time the Six Nations just get better every single year, and with Scotland getting their contracts now as well, not to be missed, seeing the impact that has on them as well. So great, it's going to be really exciting.
It'll be the most hotly contested yet. We can hardly wait. So go on, double screen, stick with us here as Loughborough Lightning look to get their campaign back on track, but also get yourself some tickets. It's the hottest ticket in town.
Make sure we're in 8s.
I know for a fact that Sarah Hunter is particularly excited to hopefully be playing up in Newcastle. She's not played much up north in a Red Roses jersey.
Well, someone was speaking about, will you be retiring next year? And she was like, well, it's just been announced that we're at Newcastle. So I think she was like, I'm definitely not retiring.
Clinging on for some time at St James's Park. Her time at Franklin's Gardens this afternoon has come to an end. You can see Daisy Hibbert-Jones rising from the back of that purple scrum there. Reese Edwards thinks that she could be the next Sarah Hunter, which is pretty much the highest compliment you can pay a rugby player. Very, very exciting. England under 20 moved to Loughborough from Sale Sharks this season and has really made her mark. Wore that number 8 jersey with aplomb in the absence of Sarah Hunter.
All on.
And here's another all-time great, Emily Scarrett, stabbing through a probing grubber. Musgrove well up to the task though, and almost executing a fine falling offload to Tilly Vaughan Fowler. Roberts is quick to the rock, and Pinnock just about with fingertips keeps hold of that one before she sets off. Where is her support? Turns out she doesn't need it. Fends off Scarrett, brought down just before the posts. Wasps forwards are really bringing the heat this afternoon. Edwards finds Lennon, but the ball just proves evasive.
Pinnock's playing like a back row. She's been everywhere. She was involved back up at this side. She's done so many carries, and that great line break through. Really good pace as well, and as well as a fend. She's looking so bumps through. Really difficult to regain your balance after you've shoved someone over like that. Then the footwork, then the hand to the face to Scarrett. Manages to keep hold of the ball, presents it back for her team so they can get quick recycled ball off it, which is so important. Excellent work from Pinnock.
Especially as, along with Liz Craig, she is the other player to have played every minute of this campaign so far.
Incredible, just such a shift to be putting in, especially as some of the results haven't been pretty for Wasps, so they've been doing a lot of defending, which is always tougher on the body.
Emily Scarrett just receiving a little bit of medical attention there. She doesn't look too concerned, kneeling up. We'll keep you posted on that one, but I'm sure Simon Middleton and co will be watching on with bated breath.
Yeah, I don't think anybody wants to. If there's any doubt, 31-5 up, you just take her off. For not just England, but Loughborough as well, they're going to be wanting to protect her and keep her on the pitch long term.
Absolutely, and watching on there, you can see Bo Westcombe Evans, who is one of the backs replacements for Loughborough Lightning. They've gone with a 6-2 split on their bench today, but Sarah Svoboda, the Canadian international, is a back rower but has played plenty at centre. And it's not as though this is a Loughborough Lightning 23 short on playmakers.
Yeah, playmakers across the board, haven't they? So I think it's always great when you've got a centre cross back row, because they do have very similar skill sets needed. If you've got a back row that goes to centre, you've got to think about Kate Zachary for Exeter. She does it. We see her in back row. We also see her at 12. Which, it's really good for the game, I think.
Well, someone in the Lightning setup was listening to you. Applause rings out as they decide to wrap Emily Scarrett in cotton wool and bring her off safely.
Definitely, wrap her up, bubble wrap her, keep her as safe as possible. Yeah, locked away.
Put her on ice. We'll defrost Emily Scarrett next time we need her for England.
Yeah, exactly that. Yeah.
I don't think she would let anyone for a second. She loves being out there.
No, she wouldn't have wanted to come off then, but I think just sensible, probably decisions. I always think that in games, played in the World Cup, played a lot of minutes, potentially, niggles build up, so actually let's look after our players.
Coming on wearing 23 is Bo Westcombe-Evans, and it's actually the back of her jersey that Wasps players will be most familiar with. She put a hat-trick on them in the Allianz Cup earlier on this season. Loves playing against the women in black and gold. Well, Christine Belial was not happy with that one. Very swift to rise from the scrum. Let's see what the ref's saying.
Set yourself up straight, hold your weight. You start straight, you hold your weight, okay?
Start straight and hold your weight, Ian Key's words to the front rows. It's the first one we've had to reset today, so hopefully we will get back into a rhythm. No one likes a reset scrum.
Crouch! Bind! Set!
And the gears turning for Loughborough Lightning. They have been impeccable with this.
Okay, plenty of advantage, one in and up. All on.
Nelson spots open space, picks it out beautifully. Musgrove does wonderfully to amble away from the touchline there, but we'll come back.
Musgrove did so well there. There was so much pressure on her with the ball, so to manage to gather it and step in and not get hit into touch was incredible. But effort in vain because they come back. Liz Craik was done for coming up off the scrum. So difficult when you're going backwards like that. When you asked me earlier about the scrums, had we had one yet? Because I'm just struggling to think about how they've gone, to be honest. And then, because I don't know if Wasps were scrummaging well and then it's deteriorated, or actually the whole time they've been going backwards. It's really made me think now.
I think there had definitely been a scrum. I seem to definitely remember one of them. But perhaps not very many.
Yeah.
There is definitely a story to be told there, though, which is that it is Loughborough's set piece to lose right now.
Absolutely, yeah, both the scrum and the line-outs.
As proven by that ferocious down off the top of that one, and offsets Hibbert Jones. Kath O'Donnell, my mistake. Williams Morris, ball in two hands, has a pump, has a look, on the hunt for a hat-trick. Right up onto the cusp of the 22 Weaver. Finds Nelson now in at that fly half roll. Cabella does brilliantly to pick out Bartlett. Carrying blue shirts with her.
Timing's good on the line.
Craik scrags Jess Weaver, who hits the turf unceremoniously, and it's Helen Nelson in playing at 9. Belial swiftly onto Matai Tonga, who just dances inwards time and time again today. What an inside step the US Eagle has. Belial with a fend, with a drive, with a score. She was a blur of driving legs and pink ponytail, and didn't it come up good for Lightning?
Fantastic individual try as well from Belial. Team has to get her in the position to do it, but that was a great carry, a really good spot, fantastic leg drive as well. So picks up around the base of the ruck, should never get that far, has no rights to make a gap that close to the ruck, but a good fend. Two players hanging off her, and look, actually just dragging her across the ground to get that score. Lovely power and strength.
What a lovely headache it must be for Reese Edwards, having Christine Belial and Atisha Harper as tight head options.
Well, that's it. When you look at the team sheet earlier, and we said about our 11 starting internationals in the lineup, and then you look at the likes of Harper and Talling on the bench, and you're just like, wow, there's some incredible players there.
Helen Nelson, one sock up, one sock down, a puff of the cheeks. And she has really dialed in on those uprights now. Another lovely conversion from the Scotland international.
Yeah, just nice and relaxed. She's having a great game all round, really. She's really, you got those decision makers out wide, and when you've got Scarrett in previously at 10, releasing her out wide to be able to run. And yeah, here's that try again. We love a bit of power play, don't we? So really good. A good chop tackle to try and get it down, but tall girl, she gets across.
One of the 24 players in the Premier 15s to be awarded a contract by Scotland in the new year. Very exciting to see the dividends that will pay come the Six Nations and the Celtic Cup, of course, which we haven't had a chance to talk about, but the inaugural Celtic Cup on the horizon, giving players that crucial intermediary level of play between club and country.
No, leave it blue, second man.
Everyone's having a go at first receiver today for Lightning. That was Emma Wassell, but the ball just bounces out of Loughborough hands.
Loughborough quite fortunate there, really, because Wasps were coming up so fast. There was a lot of pressure. Actually, you think probably just kick getting behind, but when you're 36 points to 5, you can play with a bit more freedom, can't you? You can play out your 22, you can play out your 5. You don't really mind because you're just trying to keep the ball alive and get some tries in.
Great work in over the ball there by Molly Saunders, wearing 13.
Bind! Set!
And that's the pressure that Wasps have been putting on. You can see that ends up being a knock-on, so Lightning get the ball back. And it's Weaver fishing it out from the base of that one. Nelson hoists it to the heavens. Musgrove again detonating high balls with relative ease. Been playing on the wing for Wasps much of this season, but looking very much at home in a 15 jersey. Vaughan Fowler does a Masai Tonga and dances inside. Roberts picks out Woods. Skippered the London Irish Emeralds last season, but back playing in the Premier 15s this year. Ball just proving slippery. A lot of scrums already in the second half.
Yeah, I think there's some probably tired bodies out there, but also less gaps that Wasps are seeing. There's a good Loughborough Lightning speed in defence up in their face, and I think that was one of those looking up and then just dropping it before you've quite got it in your hands.
We've mentioned the Scotland contracts a couple of times now. They were announced just before the new year. 28 players, 24 of whom ply their trade in this league. And we had Lindsay O'Donnell on the show yesterday, Worcester Warriors captain and lock for the Thistles. She was saying that it will take a little while for the effects of those contracts to be seen. Is that something that you can support?
Yeah, completely. People go, oh, you're a professional now. Well, you don't suddenly become an expert in any trade. You don't, you take any job, say not in sport, you're not an expert just because you're professional. It does take time. We can see that with Wales when they first got their contracts. It took time to embed, but we're seeing the benefits of that now for them, and it'll be the same for Scotland. For me, it was more about rewarding the players who have done it for years, and that was my first thought. Finally, these players get to be paid and be professional. Then you look to the future, because there's been so many shoulda, woulda, couldas for them, where they're almost winning, and hopefully being professional can just change that to actually getting those wins under their belt, because the effort cannot be faulted.
Perfectly put, and right as you say that, two of Scotland's finest, Christine Belisle and Leah Bartlett, their afternoon is done, so it's goodbye to those two, and hello to Katie Trevarthen and Atisha Harper. Two fine scrummagers, which is the last thing that Wasps want to see. Here is Hibbert Jones onto Weaver, Masai Tonga at speed, but Wasps' line speed just tripping her up there.
Yeah, Wasps are not giving up, which we said that they wouldn't. It's very difficult to maintain the energy for that long, but they're really throwing themselves into this. You can see the body language as well. They're still upright. They're still, they're playing for it and for each other.
Okay.
So the new Loughborough Lightning front row, Katie Trevarthen, who was captain in the absence of Sarah Hunter and of Rachel Malcolm in the Allianz Cup and the first round of the season. Head coach of Loughborough's university side. took up coaching when she was injured, didn't know if she would ever play again, and really started falling out of love with the fact that she was having these recurrent injuries, and just fell in love with coaching. Said it's helping a lot with her play these days, and Rhys Edwards reckons that she's one of the players in this league who doesn't get the credit she deserves.
Yeah, I think it's easy to get missed sometimes if you're not necessarily doing those massive line breaks, but when you just do the dog work that allows players outside you to have the space to and the freedom to do that flair stuff, you can get overlooked.
So, according to Mr. Edwards, one of the best loose heads in the league, on next to Bryony Fields, who of course has 2 scores under her belt already for the afternoon, and Atisha Harper, back from holiday in Australia. Don't know how she'll be finding the conditions here at chilly Northampton. The answer is it doesn't trouble her at all. Loughborough send Wasps backwards, and the pressure is all over the visitors. It's Craig in its scrum half, of course it is. You could play that captain anywhere. But normal service is resumed, and Roberts whips it out to Edwards. Here is Lennon, delays it, floats it, picks out Lewis, Makeda Lewis, who is on the wing. But it looks, and Wasps get away with one there. Loughborough looked for all the world to have turned that one over. And Wasps coming away with the penalty despite the best efforts of the Loughborough Lightning back rowers.
Yeah, Loughborough are really throwing numbers into the breakdown. They are fighting to get that ball back because they know just how dangerous Wasps have been when they have been entered into the Loughborough half.
Well, now they're into the 22, just tightening that vice. In that, they've started unloading their bench, Cat, and Wasps only have another 4 substitutes available to them. How crucial is it that they score sooner rather than later?
Oh yeah, they have to. If you've only got 4 on the bench, that's a tough ask. You've got a lot of players out there who you're asking to play a full 80, and Loughborough will have known that going in. They can empty the bench, have fresh legs, so yeah, pretty difficult. So they're going to want to go for it now, and that's a great start, winning the line out.
Double tops for Christina Blanco. It's a bouncing ball just knocked on by Makeda Lewis. An inauspicious introduction to the game. Masai Tonga, again she comes, again she carries. I don't know how Bo Westcombe Evans kept that one in. Oh, but it was just about knocked on.
I was going to say, you can't bat it that many times and it go backwards. One of them's probably going to go forward. But nice decision to go wide, I think, and then it's just so this for Wasps, just disappointing. So a really good line out, and then just a loose pass, loopy on the floor, difficult to pick up. But look how quick Loughborough Lightning play with the turnover. Look to get it wide immediately. Good support play, but then yeah, just the knock on. It was actually before this bit on the floor where she managed to keep it in from touch.
I heard an interview about a year or so ago with the US Eagles head coach Rob Kane, who's since departed his post, saying that in his entire squad, Bulo Matai-Tonga was the hardest hitter. Who did he used to play with who was a deceptively hard hitter?
Oh, Tapper, the winger. She was savage for USA, really scary wing. In terms of in the England team, just Maggie, she hits really hard.
I think she's a deceptively hard hitter, though, Maggie Alfonsi.
But she's not big. Like that's the thing. She's probably only 70 odd kilos. So when she hits as if she's 150, like she's yeah. But also Sarah Hunter, absolutely solid. Like running into a wall, horrific. It's bringing back memories. They're not good.
I'll let you sit and dwell upon those for a minute. Well, Loughborough's scrum not letting up for a second, and it's inside centre meets inside centre. Helen Nelson has got Ellie Lennon very well wrapped up there in the centre of the park. Loughborough turn it over and celebrate it as though it's yet another score.
That's showing the respect, though, to Wasps, the fact they are celebrating getting the ball back. So this has been more competitive than the scoreline suggests.
It absolutely has. In the second half, Lightning have been limited to 7 points so far in 16 minutes, which is a real stalling of their progress.
And I think Wasps started off really well with a lot of energy, and then they did the same coming into the second half, but this time managing, as you said, 16 minutes to really keep them out, keep fighting, in just 7 points. When Loughborough had really started opening up at the end of that second half, I think they'll take as a win.
is Helen Nelson at the heart of that turnover. She has been everywhere today. Skies are darkening over Franklin's Gardens. Plenty of work for the floodlights.
Plenty advantage.
As the scrum yet again creaks forwards. That was ferocious from Polly Roberts, but just too ferocious. Concedes the penalty in her efforts, in her eagerness to rush up onto Jess Weaver. And Nelson goes quickly, spotting William Morris on the wing, puts the kick over. It's absolutely pinpoint, but that was not Williams Morris with a hideaway to nothing.
I love that from Nelson. Really, really clever play. Just quick scans over. It's really nicely weighted as well. And Williams Morris decides to let it bounce, which is always a risky one, but it bounces nicely. She carries, and again, it was one of those 50-50s. If that ball comes back inside and is caught, it's worth going for, but have to be under control. But look at this for confidence. The quick tap, scanning across now. That for me is weighted so nicely. A nice bounce as well. Good cover tackle, but the offload always really difficult with one hand when you're getting driven towards touch to get that one away. So it goes forward, but love that from Nelson. Really nice, smart play.
In that there was no one there supporting Williams Morris, did she make the right call to attempt an offload when perhaps there was no one there to receive it, or would you have allowed yourself to be bundled into touch?
No, never. Yeah, you want to at least, because if you go into touch, they get the line out. She could have potentially looked at putting boot on ball a little bit earlier, potentially put it along the floor, Grubber by her team time to get there, but she doesn't have much time on it there. Potentially could have gone for the nudge with the back inside for a support, but it's a good cover tackle. It's but yeah, it would just be trying to get two hands to it, to the offload, to really pull it back. I think would have been the option if you can't get the Grubber away.
Lessons in playing out on the wing from a World Cup winner. Like gold, those. Cat Merchant alongside me here. Loughborough Lightning leading at Franklin's Gardens 38 points to 5. Looking well on track to their first win of what has been a difficult season so far.
Bigger gap, smaller gap, or just hold your weight? Okay, just hold your weight. Let's go. Yeah, hold your weight, Pink.
And they need to start finding some momentum this side, because on the horizon is a trip to Gloucester, home of the league leaders, who have looked absolutely, well, points perfect pretty much this season.
They've only had 30 points scored against them, which is the even bigger stat. I was looking at them earlier thinking points for, reports against, and obviously they're scoring so many tries, but to only have that many points against, that sends a massive message about how strong they are this year.
Hibbert Jones picks out Nelson. It's snatched in the midfield. Vaughan Fowler's looked dangerous throughout this afternoon, but somehow the ball is back with Lightning. Tit for tat here. Plenty of purple bodies to the breakdown. Malcolm ran a direct line, but the pass was not accurate enough. And it's Wasps with it again. Musgrove somehow juggling that offload from the floor by Lewis, who is so quick to her feet. Roberts goes this way, goes that. Picking out Woods.
We'll come back to the knock-on advantage. No advantage there.
Emma Hardy thought she might just about have turned that one over, but we'll come back for the knock-on from Loughborough.
Yeah, I think in general that would have been looking like it was going to be a penalty. I think ref just called it back for no advantage just in time, because otherwise that was turnover for sure, because Hardy done well, got over the ball, hands on it, that's a steal.
From what you've seen today, going back to that game with Gloucester Hartpury, have Loughborough Lightning got what it takes to cause an upset there?
When they've been playing at their best and they were running in tries for fun, yes, but I think that Gloucester's defence is going to be a big test for them to be able to play with the width that they play. What I do like though is both sides, Gloucester and Loughborough, get it wide, so it's going to be a really exciting game to watch. Let's commentate on, actually. I'm doing that one.
Oh,
yes.
That'll be wonderful.
Can't wait.
Here is Saunders. Going nowhere fast. That was quite the purple welcome party. Roberts looks to her right. There's no one home on the blind side, so it's back to Edwards. Drops onto her left foot and clattered by Cabella. Getting to her feet a little bit gingerly there.
Yeah, I think potentially she was hit late. Would need to see it again, but she was under incredible pressure from Cabella on the charge down, but it'll be just interesting to see the timing of it, if she's in the act of the kick, if she was committed. Okay, so ref, is he looking? Yeah, he's giving the penalty, has he?
Yes, I think he has.
He's going TMO, is he? So we'll just listen up to the ref.
Well, no TMO, unfortunately.
Simon, you've got to mark where the ball landed, please, mate.
But having conferred with his touch judge, she was in the act of kicking it. It was an attempted charge down by Cabella, so just a penalty.
Yeah, that's where it becomes different. So if she was, if she knocks her because she's tackling or it's a late tackle, but actually she's jumped for the ball because it was so close to it. So yeah, late hit, but in the act of the charge down means penalty only. And now it's where the penalty creeps up the pitch to where it has landed.
And just about over the outstretched fingertips of Helen Nelson, Wasps march their way a little bit closer to the whitewash they would so dearly love to visit again. They've not scored more than one try in a match this entire season. In fact, Wasps' points tally for the year so far is 13. Added 5 precious ones to that this afternoon.
Yeah, so it would be great for them in this next 20 to be able to get another one on, but as LJ said, they were aiming to not be nilled. They did that very early on in the game. They came out, they got themselves a try, but I'd say they've earned another probably, but earning something doesn't mean you get it in rugby. You've got to be consistent with it and take every opportunity you can.
That's actually interestingly very evocative of something Rhys Edwards said about his side's campaign. He says that for a lot of the younger players in his squad, it's been a real life lesson this season that you don't get opportunities twice in the sport. You have to, in 80 minutes, get a result.
But there's a lot to be said when people said, oh, we should have won. Well, why didn't you? And that's actually where you've got to look at it, not just go, we were unlucky not to win. No, why didn't you? You have to address that.
Wasps intent to not leave Franklin's Gardens wandering, but that from Saunders is loose. And Bolger manages to pounce upon the loose ball. Saunders not got up from that one, just receiving some attention. I think she might have got her head on the wrong side there.
Yeah, she stayed very still afterwards, which might be precautionary. But Wasps are really starting to try and get back into it. It's been quite stop-starty this second half.
If you're happy, just hang on where you are.
Just moving now, which is good to see.
Looks like lower limb as well, so that's good. That's always, well, it's not good, but but it's better than if we think it's head or neck, obviously, simpler injury.
Absolutely is. Lots of empty pint glasses, people having a lovely Sunday afternoon at the rugby. So good to be back in the swing of things in this new year.
You two to me are both very intimate until we're this close together.
We've had victories in round 6 so far for Harlequins at the Stoop against Bristol. Saracens thumping DMP at the Stonex yesterday. Gloucester Hartbury on the road away to 6 ways, and a win for Exeter at Hayward Road this afternoon. Loughborough looking to complete the set of round 6 victors. And actually, Kat, let's talk about Harlequins against Bristol on the 27th. I can't figure out this Harlequin side this year because they've been very hot and cold, but what did you make of that performance?
They're a difficult one to predict, because you always used to think, Quins generally that they'll beat everybody apart from Saracens, but in finals is what tended to happen. But now they're just so up and down, and it's a real. But same with Bristol though, they can put in some huge performances and then also let it go. So yeah, it was a really odd one.
I think some of the new signings for Harlequins have really put their hands up for regular starting bursts. Arabella McKenzie has been been involved in every try of the week contender for Harlequins so far practically this season, and so many. Kate Leaney has been immense in the second row and all around the park. Who else has stood out for you?
Well, you're right there. I think McKenzie is the key, because the way that she plays, they kick a lot more. I really like Scott. I think she plays really well, and she can play anywhere in the back line. And I think she's definitely impressed for sure. Oh, and Burford, can't go anywhere without saying Burford for Quins. I think that she enables the ball to get wide, and they're a complete outfit, but they just sometimes don't look like they're switched on. I'd say that's the difference.
onto the field comes Susie Flowers, replacing Molly Saunders, who walked off, which is really, really good to see. Flowers been at Wasps since 2018, but this is her first appearance of the Premier 15s season. Playing a bit for London Irish recently. One of the sides who went into that tender process for next season's Premier 15s. Will be Leicester Tigers and Ealing Trailfinders, though, the new sides in the mix next season. 2 places still up for grabs. And again, ball just proving slippery in the second half. Momentum's really gone out of this game. I think it'll be a crucial couple of minutes now to see which team can find a foothold first.
I think when it was so close, it is 0-0, it's 5-0, 10-5, you know, very, very close. The ball was sticking a bit more because it had to, and they're really focused. I think there has been a bit of focus lost, maybe a little bit of motivation kind of slipping, because I mean that one in particular actually was just a really good hard line, a difficult ball to take when you're running that hard and being hit by the defence. But yeah, a few areas creeping in that we didn't see in the first half.
With Gloucester Hartpury looming large, Loughborough Lightning will want to put in 80 minutes here. Try a few things, gel a few combinations tighter.
Bind!
Prove their defensive mettle.
Set!
The ball is spat out and whipped away from Roberts. Little switch move in the midfield there, and it's Vaughan Fowler who ran onto the pass of Edwards.
No,
this is Mead, trading in a place in the backs for one on the flank. And up onto the halfway line come LJ Lewis's side, Roberts. She does get quick ball when it's clear.
Yeah, 13's won it.
But running over the top of that one was Loughborough Lightning. They turn it over. Jess Weaver drops it to her laces and sets off in hot pursuit. Will the bounce be kind to Lightning? Flag goes up. What a chip and chase from the scrum half.
I love that. That was a pure, I'm going to put boot on ball here and we're going to have a foot race. And Weaver's quick for a 9 as well, racing a wing down. That was very close for who was going to get there.
Line's yours, Blue.
It's Jess Weaver wearing number 9 today. The last 3 rounds have been started by Sister Lucy, who's on the bench. Very difficult to tell them apart. Edwards says he has to be very careful not to in training, not to get them mixed up.
Imagine though being on the bench like for your sister. Like, that's a hard one to sort of graft, isn't it?
Very, very competitive. But Jess Weaver's done her credentials no harm today. A lovely try, a fantastic kick to set up Loughborough Lightning, who go off in hunt of another try, and they have it. Their momentum might have stalled, but they're back to scoring. Loughborough, emphatic performance.
Yeah, just when they get into those areas, they're just so difficult to stop. They're just up there. Their try scoring ratio from lineouts just be just huge. So yeah, you go. It's just announced a hat trick. I was letting the moment go for her. So a hat trick for her, but as you say, team effort when it is the hooker that does it. But that comes from me, from the nudge from Weaver, the confidence of her to put it through, put a really good chase in. If she got it herself, then obviously try time for her. But if not, forcing the pressure out so they then get their line out.
That's a try and an assist for young Jess Weaver as the rain just starts to come down here at Franklin's Gardens. It's held off so far, but with 15 minutes left, drizzle begins to fall over the floodlights. And it is another corker, courtesy of the boots of Helen Nelson. What an afternoon she is having.
Well, it's going to be an interesting battle next week between Nelson and Emma Singh, because they're really, both of them are really stepping up and putting some fantastic scores in from the corners as well.
Singh was just one conversion short of a full house yesterday and what was a rampant afternoon.
Well, she can just take it from the halfway line. You know, she's been really kind of pushing the distances at which it just stops teams being able to give penalties away. It's just too dangerous. You'll get 3 points against.
Hold in front, Blue.
Now that from
Now
Jess
you're on.
Weaver was a 50-22. We saw an amazing one of those from Natasha Hunt yesterday, which led directly to a Gloucester Hartbury score. I'm starting a campaign now. Let's not just have try of the week, let's also have a 50-22 of the week, because they are exciting.
Oh, they're so exciting. And when the law first came in, people hated it, but I'll let you pick over on this.
Well, thank you very much, Kat, because Daisy Hibbert-Jones should not be allowed to score this one without accompanying excitement. She has just torn open the Wasps' defence. A highly deserved score from a bright young prospect. Plenty of gas to spare there. What a run-in.
Great run in, and again, really good teamwork from this. So they know that they've got a good forward pack, but they are not scared to get it wide as well. So nice pass out, scanning across, and then it's just been able to pace on now. And they're dummying as well. It's been really key this game for both sides.
Musgrove looked tired there as well on the wing in defence.
Yeah, I was just looking across, and actually she was almost blocking the pass rather than going for the tackle, is what it looked like. But yeah, good finish from essentially from nothing coming through. But back to our 50-22 chat. Yeah, it's a great rule, and I think a lot of people didn't like it, and they thought it was going to encourage too much kicking, but it doesn't. It gets rid of back three. They have to drop for it, because otherwise they'll be punished for it, and it's just a huge. Occasionally I still forget and I think, oh, that's a great kick, and I'm like, no, it's an absolutely amazing kick, because now it's 50-22 and you get the ball back. So I think it is great, and yeah, let's campaign for that. Yeah, one of the week, not just the try.
Absolutely. 50-22 of the week. Use the hashtag get 'em, but no, don't really. But let's make this thing happen, because it is so exciting. And Helen Nelson, her point tally's up to 12 now for the afternoon. 6 conversions sweetly struck. Loughborough Lightning are really starting to purr now. They found their groove once more. 10 minutes left to play. They lead Wasps 52 points to 5 at Franklin's Gardens before an increasingly vocal crowd. Here is Lucy Weaver, and through the hands of another bright young thing, Morwenna Talling is onto the field, and so too is Sarah Svoboda. Eventually clatters to the ground, but the Canadian international carrying hard through the midfield there. Heartbreak against England, of course, in that amazing World Cup semi-final, but she really sparkles in a Loughborough shirt too.
Referee's called up, so I just want to see what he's seen before coming to this touch judge.
I think we might be having...
It's going to be a penalty against Blue, where we stop the game.
So there's going to be a penalty awarded for Loughborough Lightning. Sydney Mead has left the field of play.
Where we stopped, okay. Rachel, there are too many players on the pitch. It's going to be a penalty against them.
And it turns out that Wasps were briefly playing with 16 players there, which is quite some achievement considering they only brought 20 to the match.
Yeah, I was just thinking that. Just a cheeky one, throw an extra player on.
Well, Nelson won't want to see that one again. She's been kicking beautifully, but that definitely came off the side of her boot.
Yeah, that one won't make the highlight reels, because she has had a fantastic game. But
bountiful afternoon.
Yeah.
And here, with her first throw in the Premier 15s, is Phoebe Andrews. It's not a great start. She just started forwards off the touchline there, but a very exciting young prospect, Reese Edwards assures me. Skillful, elusive, abrasive. An England under-18 talent development group athlete. She's got 8 minutes left to find her footing in this league. Well, Roberts did really well there to stave off the Lightning counter-up. The ball stays blue. It's Blanco. Tackled by Svoboda, who strips the ball. Wasps come up with the penalty, though.
That's just messy there.
They have 8 minutes left. The deficit is too great to overcome now, but 8 minutes left for perhaps another score.
Yeah, they'll absolutely want to get that for them as well. If you said as well, only 13 points so far this season, 5 of which they've got today, they could really make a massive improvement in terms of that. They've wanted a bit more distance from that kick, but very difficult one right from the centre of the pitch.
Yes, Mark. Thank you.
Been a busy afternoon for Hannah Edwards. The only type she's known this season. Right at the heart of this spirited Wasps campaign.
Knock-on advantage.
What an impact Svoboda has had since arriving, just disrupting that one, preventing Wasps from getting any front foot ball from the line out. Edwards finds Vaughan Fowler in off her wing again. She's been hungry for work today. Roberts again. It's Coe. He dances back inside. Andrews is there to meet her. Here is Pinnock. And straight over the ball goes Sadia Kabea. But there was a knock-on off the line out. We'll come back for that one. Wasps have another go here.
Yeah, Kabea's so quick over that ball. Got to watch that she stays on her feet though, because it did look like possibly she'd come off, but irrelevant anyway because they had the advantage for Wasps for the scrum, but it's not been their day scrum-wise, so difficult one here. That said though, even though they went backwards 5 metres on the last one, they still managed to get the ball out, and that essentially is the most important thing, and if you can do that when you're going backwards, you're in quite a good place.
That's a revealing set of numbers. Wasps missing half as many tackles as they have made this afternoon. Is that credit to Loughborough with the ball in hand, or is that perhaps a sign that Wasps are struggling defensively?
Yeah, there's too many tackles missed, a big proportion, as well as what's in there, double as many, obviously, as Loughborough. But credit to Loughborough because they have been performing very well, getting it wide, doing their footwork. But yeah, that stat to me looks like need to defensively have a look.
And it's another penalty at scrum time for Lightning, and Sadia Kabea absolutely relished that one. Nelson, with her wonky socks and fabulous points haul, sends that one down over the halfway line. Oh, just not quite. And 5 minutes left to play. Cat Merchant, now the result looks like it is clear. Goodness me, that rain. Can I get your thoughts? Who are the runners and riders for your Allianz player of the match?
Into the mix would definitely be Matatonga. I think she's been amazing. Sadia Kabea as well has been outstanding, but for me I'm going to go for Helen Nelson. I think she's been fantastic today with the way that she's structured the game, but also her own runs and her kicking.
Well, she's calling for it now, and Talling twists her body, finds the inside centre, who slaloms a couple before she's brought down just shy of the 22. Lucy Weaver, Kabea, two of England's most exciting prospects right there, linking up and into the 22. Loughborough hustle. There's time left for another score, and can it come through Harper? Or perhaps from Talling? No, it's neither. It's Phoebe Andrews with a meat pie on debut. Welcome to the Premier 15s, young lady.
You've got to love that. How's that for offloading? The initial break from Harper and that offload, but then the one after it, the one hand across as well. Just that was super exciting. Really good play. And it shows again that they're not just one-out runners looking to score. They are skillful players across the board looking to offload, change the point of attack. This is when they look the most dangerous.
Well, the energy in this place, the dial's just been turned up a couple of notches. That has really lifted Franklin's Gardens.
Look at that. Look at that quality. That just, no look, one hand out the back fast. Love it. Lovely line as well. That slight out to in initially to make that offload easier, and then the one off it. Brilliant. Lovely play.
We'll just let Helen Nelson take her kick, and then I want to talk to you about blossoming, blooming future Red Roses. Inches wide, that one goes begging, but Cat Merchant, that passage of play with Lucy Weaver, Sadia Kabea, Moena Talling, and then Phoebe Andrews, all of whom are under the age of 22. All England eligible. Magic.
That is, and it's exactly what you want to see in this league, in the Premiership, to see the young ones coming through, being confident. All 4 under 22, that's amazing.
It's a deep restart, and it's our player of the match who's there to hoover it up and then beat a defender for good measure. Lucy Weaver, Rachel Malcolm, Hardy, Matai Tonga, still going fast, frees her hands, Cabella's on the end of it, skins one, bumps over another, implausibly still going. She is brutally effervescent. It is such a pleasure watching her. Now Svoboda. Lightning not taking their foot off the gas for a second in these final few minutes of play. Rachel Malcolm, dancing feet, inside and out, places it backwards for Weaver. Nelson. Off trundles Harper.
It's all back, it's all back.
Somehow just about goes backwards. Bo Westcombe-Evans has it. Scampering past defenders, just about brought to deck. The support is there quickly and offsets Lauren Bolger. Loughborough Lightning will have their 10th score at the Gardens.
Lovely decision there as well. It's not often you see your wing pick and go, but not your standard pick and go. Just sees that it's out and have a go around that blind side, and then the pace as well. Just no one's going to catch her. But 10 tries is incredible.
I've run out of space on my piece of paper.
Yeah, that's all gone.
A column of Loughborough try scorers.
So lovely carry. She was unfortunate not to be able to get the ball probably just past to her, so she's gone in and gone, do you know what, I've not had much ball this game, I'm getting it myself. So picks it and has a little run, which is great. Love it.
A 4th score in African Violet for Lauren Bolger, who joined from Harrogate Ladies this season. 3 against Saracens in the opening round. 1 today against Wasps.
Not the score that we would, so the score, to be honest, expecting before this game. I said to Ashley when she said, oh, do you want me to ask you a score? I went, well, probably not, because it might be, 60 points. But then actually the first 10 minutes I was like, wow, this could be quite a different look. But yeah, wow, Loughborough really pulled it together. What a performance against a dogged Wasp side.
Dogged indeed, but the whistle goes and there was only one side coming away with the result in the end. A first win of the season for Loughborough, absolutely essential it was too. The route up the table, it's treacherous, but finally, Reese Edwards women have a foothold. And this, Cat Merchant, could be the start of a bit of a surge through the standings.
Oh, I think so. The talent across the board in that squad just has to be higher up the table than 8th. It absolutely has. Next week's going to be a big test for them because Gloucester just look relentless. They absolutely punish Sarries, and I've never seen a performance like it against Saracens to have 50 points put on them. So, but off the back of this win, they're going to have some more confidence because losing can become a habit, and actually they've broken that habit now, and they've shown that they can really put some great scores in. So that's going to be a fascinating match next week.
Also, 10 tries through 7 different scorers. As a coach, how encouraging is that?
Yeah, that's huge because the other 3, if they're off your, they're always going to be hooker because when you're playing off of driven line-outs, but across the board that shows really great talent coming through. And as you said, the young ones, Red Rose is eligible as well as their Scotland contingency is just huge for them, a lot of potential.
And you can see how much it means to them. Smiles on every Loughborough Lightning face, and also a little dance from Liz Craig, who seems to have enjoyed her afternoon, as well she should.